Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana, the hostess with the mostest. Let's get into this. Excuse me if there's echo because I'm in the bathroom right now. Alright, so excuse me for any noise in the background because I'm actually in a different setting, okay? But the creator wanted me to focus on something today. And I knew that it would be conversation worthy because of the confirmations all throughout the day, right? If you know, you know. Once you start to make these transitions, right? The people that are currently in your life, right, are there to make sure, first of all, that the cycles are closed, but they are giving you a new perspective on how to begin your new cycles. Initially, I wanted to talk about something else, but the creator wanted me to put the emphasis on people. Remember, when we get blessings, gifts come in the form of people, right? People are used to help you, to give you a lesson, right? Because it's never a loss. Even if those people are holding up this mirror where they're giving you an idea or a reflection back of what it is that you're exuding, whether it's on a physical level or a spiritual level. The key here is to look at the people around you. Your circumstances are going to constantly change, but your vibration is wholly reflected in your environment, right? So the people that are in your midst, whether you know them or not, and I mean, this could be your coworkers, this could be your neighbors, this could just be people that you pass by on a daily basis, right? You may see them every day on a commute, or you may just see them passing through in the neighborhood every now and again. You may not even know their name, right? You may have never even said a word to them. But this is all a big part of the warfare that's going on. Remember, everything that happens in the heavens, all of the heavens, it manifests down here in this dimension on earth. So you have to think, whatever is in your environment here must be in your environment up there as well. And a lot of the things that you may be dealing with internally, whether it's passed through a curse, whether it's from the environment or whatever, right? No matter what it is, these things are coming through people. I just had a conversation yesterday about how, and we've talked about this, right? I mean, last year in multiple ways, we've talked about how different vessels can be used to attack, not just humans, right? Animals, insects, it could be objects, it doesn't matter, right? Energy can be transferred, and especially if someone is giving you something, you have to pay attention to, and this is the trick, because people can present, right? People can project. People can do a whole bunch of different things. But if you are paying attention, the energy still can't be fake. You can't fake the energy. There is no way. You can't fake it. And this is obviously after healing and going through the different phases, right? Because we know that the devil is going to give you everything that looks good. And this is another way that you're going to know, because the people, and we're speaking of people and how they can assist us and usher us into the next, phases of our lives, our new cycles, right? They will test your limits. They will test to see if you are ready. I mean, meaning if you know certain things would piss you off 6 months ago or last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and you can look at a situation or something that someone has done. And you could say, now, if this was such and such an amount of weeks ago, I would have responded different. If you can say that and honestly see the difference in your reaction, knowing that that particular scenario would put you in a particular energy, you are growing and you may very well be ready for the next phase. Obviously, of course, we know the creator is the ultimate, spokesperson for everything, and he tells us when we are ready for something, right? It's not up to us per se, but the things that are in your control, the things that you can control, the things that you do obviously have some form of control over, meaning your reaction, how you're thinking, the environments that you're putting yourself in. These are all direct ways to open up the door to warfare. These are the thresholds that the warfare comes in. Because the devil knows, right? The devil is the king of airways. He listens. And he can use people to attack you. And we've talked about that. But the main thing here, we're trying to start looking at the brighter side of things, right? Yes, warfare is dark. Warfare is grimy. It's grim. We know all of that. But we sometimes need to focus on the brighter side of things. Let's be grateful, first of all, that we are even aware of these attacks, because you have some people who are constantly being attacked and they don't even know it. Okay? So if you are in a position where God has given you some level of insight, right? Some level of understanding of spirituality, and I don't mean religion, I do mean spirituality, then you need to be grateful. You need to use those gifts and hone in on them and actually enhance them, right? Use them a little bit more so they can become stronger. And this will allow you to start using other gifts that you may not even have known you've had. They could just have been acquired, or they can just be passed down through the bloodline. It depends on the purpose and why the creator have given you those gifts in the first place. You want to learn how to pay attention to the behavior of the people around you, because it is a reflection of the warfare that's going on. The people in your midst is a reflection of your thought process. It's a reflection of the demons that you are battling. Like I said, whether it is something that was sent to you, something you picked up along the way, or something that is generational. And you would know it, right? But the overall premise of the conversation is to pay attention to the people that are in your midst when you start walking into these new cycles. It's not just because you want to watch out and be guarded because people are going to attack you. You need to pay attention to the qualities, right? The fruits of their spirits. And we talked about that, but we talked about it in the aspect of our own selves. I'm saying when you get around these new people, you start building these new relationships, the way in which you've built your last relationships should be one of the things you don't want to do while building these new ones, right? So that means anything that is toxic or anything that is connected to you not prospering in a good way, a way that God wants you to prosper. Of course, we have our own desires, and those things bring us with people that we probably should not, have certain connections with, because those are our own desires. And we talk about that all the time, right? How God puts people together and then people put people together. So you have to be able to see if the people that are new to your energetic field, are they sent by God? Are they a part of your purpose? Are they just the energy that is assisting you with transitioning? Are they a monitoring spirit? You have to be able to discern. And some people, I would like to say, that can be monitoring spirits, being in your midst can awaken them and can enlighten them. So this is the good thing. Once you start to become a little more seasoned in using your gifts, because it's one thing to be aware, right, that you have these gifts. It's one thing to know that God has blessed you beyond measure. But when you start applying the knowledge, this is when you start to see things that are manifesting, and that are connected to your thinking. And not everyone, your goal ultimately needs to be conscientious, right? And even in the middle of this engagement, what about the person is familiar? What about the person do you feel is something maybe you do that you need to work on, right? Because it's so quick to ridicule people and judge people and want them to do what we want them to do and all of that, right? But do we really, really pay attention to how they may be reflecting what we're dealing with internally? It's no one's fault, right? This is not a race to pay attention to people and start picking them apart. This should be something that allows you to reflect on what it is that you are putting out into the energetic field of other people. Because when you look at them, you should be like, oh, do I do that? Like, before you get to say what someone's doing that you don't appreciate, that you don't like, maybe you do the same exact thing in another way and you just don't realize it, right? So this is not to point out the small things about people that you don't like. This is not for you to attack people. This is simply for you to get a better idea of your shadow side, okay? This is an exercise. I would say this would be an exercise where you could start looking at your shadow side, because a lot of us, we're trying to do this healing work and we're talking about spirituality and we're not looking at the deeper, darker parts of ourselves that need to be nurtured in order for us to be successful in the growing. Because you can grow, you can get to all these places, but what happens when triggers come up and you haven't worked on any of your triggers, you haven't even addressed them? You can screw yourself up by not being patient with yourself, right? And other people. You have to learn how to be patient with other people and yourself as far as spirituality goes, because we're all growing, we're all learning, we're all transitioning. From now until maybe the middle of the summer of next year, you're going to see a lot of people going through multiple dark nights of the soul. If you don't know what that is, look it up, because that's not what this segment is about. But it's basically when you are transitioning spiritually, when you start to ascend, when bad things happen, but it causes a good result at the end, right? Because again, it's never really a loss. It's always a lesson, okay? We don't have to look at our glasses half empty, right? They're half full. That's just how we rock over here, right? You can do your own thing. I'm not trying to tell y'all what to do. Y'all all grown, all right? But before I go, I just wanted to make sure, I said this because the creator really wanted me to pay attention to people today. Something happened to me and I was reminded in my spirit of the importance of people. And today it came up again, and I just knew that it was something that the gods wanted us to go into. The God, the ultimate creator of all creations. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I hope y'all drink y'all water, eat y'all fruit and vegetables, and sip y'all own tea. Why? Because it's free. And I'm gonna keep y'all updated on the date for the ammunition making class. All right, love y'all. Peace.